There was a time when gastric bypass was the ultimate answer to obesity. If you were serious about losing weight, you cut your stomach. That was it. Fast forward to today, and now people are injecting themselves weekly and calling it safer. So what happened? Did gastric bypass fall out of favor because it was too dangerous? Or did GLP-1 drugs just become the new shiny thing? Today we're breaking down the rise and fall of weight loss surgery and the rise of GLP-1s. The side effects nobody talks about, the celebrity influence, and which one is actually safer. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Kimonica and my channel focuses on weight loss, reactions, and accountability. Since you clicked on this video, I think you will enjoy some of my other reactions, so be sure to check out my channel before you go. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this topic. Like and share, of course. And be sure to subscribe. Y'all, I wrote stuff down, okay? I was really interested in this topic, so let's get started. So in the 1950s, doctors started experimenting with gastric bypass. The problem was they had very high complication rates, malnutrition, and liver failure. Those things were very common. By the 1980s through the 2000s, gastric bypass became the gold standard, like the go-to to lose weight. Pretty much, your stomach pouch is made smaller, your intestines is rerouted. It's, of course, permanent. You have rapid weight loss. One of the things that people loved is that it was covered by a lot of insurances. I can remember back in the day, on YouTube where it was like, oh, it was booming in bariatric doctors' offices. YouTubers used to film people coming in and out of there. It was like, you know how people show women after having a BBL coming from, I don't know, let's say the DR, they have those videos where you have like a ton of women in wheelchairs trying to fly out of there after having a BBL. That was kind of the same concept. And we're actually seeing the same thing because just like with GLP-1s, when celebrities, publicly say that they're doing something, it normalizes it for some people. Celebrities have came out and publicly stated that they've had some type of weight loss surgery. Randy Jackson has stated it, Al Roker, and Rosie O'Donnell, there are just a few. So around 2010 is when the sleeve surgery became popular. That's where they take about 80% of your stomach away. There's no rerouting of the intestines. You have fewer absorption issues. And it became more popular than the bypass surgery. There's other surgeries out there as well, like the lap band and the duodenal switch. So let's talk about some of the side effects of gastric bypass or bariatric surgery, which I think is one of the reasons why GLP-1s are so popular now. So some of the short-term side effects are blood clots, infections, bleeding, and of course, death. There are so many long-term complications, but I'm just going to name just a few, like diarrhea, constipation, malnutrition, depression. Some people have to get the surgery reversed. There are some high-profile deaths that have been linked to this surgery, like Lisa Marie Presley. There have been influencers who documented their sleeve surgery complications, TikTokers who developed sepsis, people who needed surgery revision. Every few months, there's a viral story of someone saying, I almost died from a leak. And leaks are one of the most feared complications in bariatric surgery. Surgery works, but it permanently alters your autonomy.
Hey guys, so I have not been doing so well. Last Monday, I had a blood clot go to my lungs.
So as we enter 2017, GLP-1s are on the rise, like Ozempic and Wegovy. And how it works is it slows gastric emptying, increase insulin, and suppress appetite. Of course, GLP-1s is an injection, so of course it has side effects. Some of the common side effects, just to name a few, there are tons: nausea, vomiting, constipation. More serious side effects are gallbladder disease, pancreatitis, muscle loss, just to name a few. So normally GLP-1s is a weekly injection, and something that I did not know, for some patients, it is required for them to take it for the rest of their life once they get on it for medical reasons. And then some, of course, they just have to stay on it because if they don't, they will gain weight. When people stop GLP-1s, of course, weight gain, hunger returns, the food noise returns as well. With surgery, you can't quit, right? With GLP-1s, you can. And whether we want to admit it or not, gastric bypass surgery is not a permanent fix. People gain all of their weight back plus some after having gastric bypass surgery. And it's pretty much the same thing with GLP-1s. If you stop taking GLP-1s, it's a great chance that you're going to gain that weight back. I always talk about we have to fix the problem, right? Whether that means going to therapy, whatever that means. But we have to figure out, why are we overeating? Why are we morbidly obese before we go and have surgery or take GLP-1s? Because when you don't figure out what's wrong and you have the same habits going into these things, it's a good chance that you're going to gain that weight back.
The most common side effects include nausea, stomach pain, constipation, diarrhea, and vomiting. But there are possible serious side effects as well. Ozempic and other websites list possible thyroid tumors, changes in vision, kidney, and gallbladder problems. Lawsuits have been filed against GLP-1 makers Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, alleging the products can cause gastroparesis, a paralysis of the stomach, and other gastrointestinal injuries without adequate warnings. Both companies deny the allegations. Dr. Say believes a big part of the problem is not the drug itself, but how it's being prescribed.
Let's talk about GLP-1's cultural shift, right? So I remember, looking back, the first time I ever heard about GLP-1s, it was like they were blasting Oprah Winfrey about it. I never dug deep into it. I didn't even know what it was. They were just saying that, she was on weight loss drugs, but saying that, it was Weight Watchers. So for years, Oprah was the face of Weight Watchers. She brought stock in the company, publicly promoted the company, and she famously said it's not about the food. And in 2023, she publicly admitted using weight loss medication to lose weight. So for years, we were told that it's about willpower. Then the same person selling willpower admits that she was using medication. That shifted the whole culture conversation overnight, y'all. Weight Watchers stock dropped. I remember all of this. Oprah later left the board, and Weight Watchers pivoted into telehealth prescriptions. I did not know that until I was reading upon this recently. And it got me to thinking, what is the point of Weight Watchers at this point? If I'm signing up for Weight Watchers just to get on with a doctor to prescribe me GLP-1s, I don't know. That's a weird pivot. So let's talk about more people that has normalized it. Elon Musk. He tweeted that he lost weight fasting and by using Wegovy. No shame, no hiding. The thing about that is when billionaires start occasionally tweeting about prescription weight loss drugs, the culture has shifted. It normalized it for tech bros and executives. Even the president of the United States commented on these drugs, and he said he never used them but thinks that maybe he should. At the same time, his administration made deals with the companies behind Ozempic and Wegovy to try to lower the prices for Americans. Just crazy, right? I'm sure with the new medicines that's coming out, they're probably changing how it works. But at the end of the day, y'all, this was a diabetic patient medication and they could not get it. Like, pharmacists were short nationwide. Doctors publicly criticized the cosmetics use of it. It was crazy. The diabetics was rationing their medication while influencers were shrinking on Instagram, y'all. So let's talk about the look, right? What people call the Ozempic face. I think it's very similar to people that have had gastric bypass. You know, the high-low cheeks, the skin elasticity, muscle thinning, your collarbone become prominent, like your neck. It looks kind of sunken in. When weight loss drops quickly, whether through surgery or medication, the face often changes first. And in Hollywood, that change doesn't go unnoticed. So it's a lot of people that have never confirmed that they take GLP-1s, like Kim Kardashian, Khloe, Scott, people in that family where they have some of those, Ozempic face features. I'm not saying that they take GLP-1s. I'm just saying the face. One thing that I can appreciate about GLP-1s is if done right, a lot of people don't end up with that look because they lose the weight slowly. GLP-1 weight loss can be gradual, but, gastric bypass, that thing dropped that weight like a hammer. My biggest concern, and I voiced this on many, many vlogs because some of y'all have asked me, will I ever take GLP-1s? I feel like bariatric surgery, it's been around for, 20 plus years. We kind of know the complications. We kind of know what to expect, right? But with GLP-1s, I feel like there's a lot of studies when it comes down to people that need it, people that have diabetes. But what are the long-term effects on people that was healthy outside of, being obese, that was pretty healthy? Like, I feel like we don't know those side effects, and that's concerning to me. At the end of the day, surgery is permanent and known, and GLP-1s are reversible, but we don't know the long-term effect it will have on us. So which is safer? In my opinion, I don't know. It's based on the patient and what's going on with them. Like, for example, if somebody is really, really morbidly obese and they have uncontrollable diabetes, then they probably would want permanent change. And then someone that might just be more, a little bit obese, you could be a little bit obese, and they don't want a permanent change, they just want to knock off a couple of pounds, then, GLP-1s would be the safer way to go. But the fact of the matter is, GLP-1s do not have 20 years of data. It also requires sometimes a lifetime cost. We see what it's doing to a lot of people on the outside, and we can only imagine what it's doing on the inside or what it could potentially do in the future. Now let's talk about numbers, because no matter what, they don't lie. Over the last several years, bariatric surgery rates in the United States have remained flat or even declined slightly. In fact, in recent data, surgeries dropped nearly 9% in a single year as weight loss drug prescriptions more than doubled. Meanwhile, GLP-1 medications have absolutely exploded. Between 2017 and 2021 alone, prescriptions increased roughly 40-fold. By 2025, surveys estimated that around 1 in 10 U.S. adults have tried GLP-1s for weight loss or diabetes. So what does that tell us? It tells us that while surgery used to be the dominant medical intervention for obesity, the culture and the medical system are now leaning heavily towards medication first. We're not seeing a massive rise in surgery to match obesity crisis. We're seeing injections replace scalpels. That got me to thinking about doctors like Dr. Now and weight loss TV shows. People are losing weight in silence now. You know, they're not announcing it. They're getting on their GLP-1s with their doctors. They're exercising. They're doing what they do. And that's just what it is. So I just wonder what is going to be the history of shows like 600-Pound Life. Yes, there will always, I feel, will there always be fat people? I don't know. But I'm just wondering, what is the future of fat people? That's a topic. I also wanted to talk about addiction transfer and food noise. Like, these are real. I'm not sure who coined the phrase food noise, but I actually thought that most people thought about food most of the day. I don't know. I just thought that was just a natural thing. Not really obsessed about it, but it's something that we do 2 or 3 times a day. So I thought most people already knew what they were going to eat next, right? At my heaviest, I guess I never realized how deep it was. I used to always think about food like I'm eating when I get done with that meal. What am I gonna eat for breakfast the next day? After breakfast, what am I gonna eat? What snacks am I gonna get? What drinks am I gonna get? Like, that was always on my mind. And as I lost the weight, right, naturally, those thoughts naturally went away. I wasn't always craving food. I don't hardly ever think about food. I only think about food when it's time to eat, when it's time to meal prep, when it's time. Like, I literally hardly ever think about food. I'm in such a good place with food right now that food noise does not bother me. But it is a real thing, and I really, really thought I never really thought about it until, now recent, since someone said food noise. But now thinking about it, like I said, I really did think most people thought about food all the time. Like, I went through, after just, naturally losing weight, a massive amount of weight, I was addicted to alcohol, addicted to shopping. Everything had an addiction, okay? So it is real. When you remove one coping mechanism, something else has to take its place. And for me now, it's probably work, studying, trying to just do better, be better. And I'm happy that I'm in a healthier coping place. But yeah, that can get scary. As always, none of this is medical advice. Both surgery and GLP-1 medication have helped people improve diabetes, blood pressure, and even save lives. The point isn't to shame either. It is to understand. So if you had to choose permanent surgery or lifelong injections, which risk would you pick? So at the end of the day, surgeries and GLP-1 medications are just medical tools. One changes your anatomy forever, one changes your hormones as long as you inject. Neither replaces discipline, neither is magic, and both come with risk people don't like to talk about. The real question isn't which one works. The real question is, which risk are you willing to live with? In the 2000s, we cut the stomachs. In the 2020s, we quiet the brain. But maybe the real revolution will be when we stop pretending there's no cost to either. If you like conversations where we actually think instead of following trends, make sure you subscribe. I also have another YouTube channel. Just check out my description box for all of my links and all of my socials where I am very, very active. Thank y'all so very much. Please leave me a comment, like the video, share it, all of those great things. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
They want to ride right here, man.